Okay, we all know little Intel NUC mini PCs. You know, I saw this one on Marketplace and it looked very interesting and I wanted to go pick it up. But I was just thinking, I'm like, why don't I make my own? I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. I have this board that delaminatized on the battery connector where it was very badly attempted to solder. So I have this board, or I have a board from an HP Stream. From experience, I'm pretty sure the board from the HP Stream is smaller than this. And the only reason why this is so big because it has other coils and transistors. And it's a shame because I would love to just cut the board. I don't even think it's gonna work. So I'm gonna put this one to the side. I don't think I'm gonna use this one, also because it doesn't have a heatsink. Let's open this up and see what we got.
Just a little bit of reference. This HP Stream was actually my first ever laptop PC, same thing. And now it's gonna get repurposed into something actually useful.
Oh my god, much smaller. Look at the size of this board. That is literally a perfect size. One thing I am concerned about, I don't know if it will just work as a board. So what we're gonna have to do is run it out on a bench. As you guys can tell, this is a fanless computer, so this should run just fine. It would be nice to implement some type of speaker, so I'm going to keep this on the back burner. And that is the whole computer. So we have an HDMI port. Just to be safe, I have this anti-static bag that will provide it with some type of support. I do want to keep, you know, all the stuff that we will need. So we're going to have to make a custom holder for the AC adapter. I don't see why this wouldn't work, but you know, there's always, you know, that chance. Okay, let's plug it in. We also won't have a power button. We're gonna have to take this power button out and put it in. Okay, let's go quickly take out this power button real quick. Power button's installed. We're charging. Turned on. Not receiving any video though. Yeah, okay, it works. This will work. One concerning thing is that we're not getting BIOS screen through the HDMI, which is just a thing that we're gonna have to deal with. So I guess now let's just undo all the parts and then just salvage everything that we need. That's all we need from this kit. So this right here is our whole computer. We have power supply, which is a DC jack. Other than that, I only want to keep the USB, the headphone jack, and the HDMI, and then we're gonna have to figure something out with the power button. Power button circuit looks fairly simple. I do plan on putting this jack somewhere over here, so it's out of the way and it's aligned with all the other connectors. This piece of cardboard. This should be roughly the same size as the board, which it is. Those are our holes. Here's the board drawn out. So now that we have all the dimensions for all around the board, this is what we're working with. And now I gotta go 3D model something that represents whatever this is.
Hey, bro, come on.
I was doing a bit of looking and this USB port is completely fucking broken on this board. So in the meantime, while that's printing, I'm gonna go take this off. There you go. Broken USB port is out. I'll be back whenever the print is done. Okay, well, after literally 3 hours, the first prototype is here. I made this extremely big on the wrong side by accident, but that's okay. I just want to see if all the holes are lining up, and the answer is no.
My name is Walter Hartwell White.
Prototype 3. I'm feeling a lot worse today. My voice is very much gone, but I'm just gonna end up recording this anyway. It looks a gazillion times better, strength-wise. That didn't print how I wanted it to print, but regardless, it's okay. Let me go take out all the supports now. The text I made came out really readable. I decided I want a new ribbon cable for the power button. So I found these in my garbage pile, and I found this ribbon cable that has identical traces, identical pitch, identical everything. Is just 8 long, not 4. So what we can do, get 4, cut it. I mean, it's a little bit loose, but I don't see why that wouldn't work. Yep, works. Look at that. Expert. Hello.
So I have this very basic structure for the fourth case I'm working on, or possibly the fifth prototype. I'm not entirely sure. I moved the power button to above the USB port, and like I was saying inside the text there, basically I only have these two USB ports, and then to substitute the third USB port, I'm using this power, which is just a DC jack that I hot glued into the board. Other than that, that's about it with my modified board. Obviously, I didn't care about my board. I've had it since 2013. It's a very old board, and I feel like this is a way better design for the IO. There obviously will be reversible alternatives. For example, I'll put the power switch over here or over here. So if you guys want the SD card reader, I will make multiple STLs, but as the current time as is right now, whenever this video is coming out, this will be the only STL. Obviously, feel free to go look at the Thingiverse link, take a look, see what model fits yours better, and then from there you guys can choose. For now, this will be the only STL available until I find time to make more.
All the holes line up, board mounted just fine. I'm done for today, dude.
Yeah, so I spent maybe 30 minutes trying to install this power button, and it didn't line up, so...
Every muscle in my body hurts.
Hey, how's it going? It's been like a year since I made an update on this. Here is the new mini PC design that I made. Design is a big word. I just adjusted a couple things, and the main improvement are these standoffs right here. They're in all four corners. Reason being, whenever I printed the other one, it was really flimsy on the walls, so having these triangles helps rigidity and spread out the surface area a bit more. The next thing I did is I also moved these holes a little bit more in, because I realized whenever I was screwing down the other one, it split. So another thing I wanted to try was printing this without supports, and yeah, it just doesn't need supports. It printed just fine without them, including these parts right here, which surprised the shit out of me, but hey, that's okay. I do want to maybe add reinforcement to this, be like a triangle here, just to improve the strength of these holes. Then again, I feel like it would have also been imperative for me to go add another standoff over here, just as like a holder for the board. I might end up doing that. I probably won't. It's definitely an option. Other than that, I haven't really been touching this. And the only reason why I am touching this now is because instead of just making this as a hobby project, this is actually going to be used for a Linux machine. Okay, I understand that the whole thing is not completed. That's included in the 3D model, but I did install Ubuntu 22.04, and I also installed OpenSSH server, and I enabled it, and I also made a firewall rule so I can SSH into it. The next thing, I configured it to 207 because it connected through DHCP. We need to fix that. I need this to be a static IP. The one thing I do want to install is Docker. So what I'm installing right now are the prerequisites. This is just to also install curl. It's gonna be fairly slow. I'm on some really shitty wireless thing. It is what it is, honestly. It does suck. What am I gonna do?
Play the fool with me, Nick.
Okay, now that that's installed, we're gonna do sudo install m0755 d etc apt keyrings. We're gonna curl the Docker website. We're gonna type that. You know what? I made the directory already. I'm just gonna use wget instead. Okay, that worked. Now let's de-armor it. Okay, I'm gonna go run this echo command here that I don't feel like typing. And now we're gonna do sudo apt install docker ce docker ce cli container docker build x docker compose.
I would like an answer. I would like an answer.
Okay, now if I do this, aha, there we go. I had an issue with the echo command. It's all good. Everything's happy.
No, you're mentally ill.
Now that that's fully installed, let's go get Dockge made. So we got to make the directory. We're making two directories. And we're going to go Chinese user to opt Dockge and stacks. We're going to go into this directory and we're going to go curl from the GitHub. Am I going to write the command? No. We might need sudo, so I'm going to do it instead. And then now if we open the compose, it actually is a Docker compose. Who would have guessed this? So now let's start it up. So now let's open another Chrome tab. Now let's Open this. Oh wow, look at that. Dockge works. Now we're in Dockge. So now we can compose our stacks in a GUI instead of having to deal with whatever the fuck we dealt with. This is easier. So now we can get core control running. It's a little self-hosted infrastructure board thing. There's a GitHub page. I'll leave it in the description. It's not supported anymore. There hasn't been an update in like 8 months. Very simple compose. We just need 2 composes for it to work. This one will be core control. We're going to need this compose and the glances compose. So we're going to go save this, glances, put the glances one, save that as well. So now we're going to start glances first, see if this works. It might be really slow. So now it's creating, it started glances, no problems, nothing in the terminal. Now for core control, there's a better one. There we go. Let's go see if this works. 3005. There we go. I want to go see if this is even working. I have glances running on my other server. We're going to go just click configure it real quick. Add it. Let's refresh. Oh my god. Everything is here. Now, let's add the Linux server.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very awesome.
Here's a complete state of the current 3D model that I have created. It's decent. You know, the IO is, you know, semi-decent. The main issue I'm dealing with right now is the power button. So I'm going to quickly just make it a square just to make life a little bit easier.
My name is Retep, and I am evil.
Okay, let me give this a little bit of backstory. So what I was doing is I was putting in the power connector into the ZIF connector for the ribbon cable, and it completely ripped off. That's including the whole plastic thing. That also explains that ugly wire that's right there. The main issue at hand is that pad that's completely ripped off. But the good thing is we have that nice trace towards the right of it. The reason why I'm even doing this is because I didn't have to even show you this. I could have just went on with my day. I'm just going to make 2 designs now to kind of revise this if you ever do this. So let's figure out how we can even turn this thing on in the first place.
You get your positive, ground it, and then you get this and just tap it. Right there. And then I got a power off notification on my screen here.
So, yeah, not ideal. But here is the new case design. Okie dokie, so here is the final rendition of the 3D model that I've created for the HP Stream Mini PC project. And there are 2 renditions. Like I said before, there's already a problem right now with the power button on mine. So I made a rendition for mine with no power button. It'll be available for everyone. I haven't configured the one with the SD card yet, just because I don't think anyone's going to be using the SD card slot. If you want, you're totally able to go do it and just add it to the Thingiverse as a custom creation if you'd like, or you just make your own Thingiverse. Like, I don't care. So the one with the power button has this power button STL mapped into it. It fits totally fine. I don't have a recording of it working, but it works. Everything is exactly the same. This is the top case. It's universal for either one, but if I move it out the way, on the power button model, you have the standoffs, which are enlarged, so they reduce the chances of stripping. We have these corners here, which are here to stabilize and reinforce. I have also incorporated rounded corners to help printing. I print with a skirt on both, and it's fine. I get perfectly good bed adhesion, and I'm printing with PLA Pro. The one without the power button is identical to the one with the power button, just without the standoffs and without the power button. These don't show up in Kira, don't worry about it. Everything's identical. We have these vents here in the back, we have vents on the top, so we have some type of air cooling. What I did forget to mention is that I made these holes here. These take 3mm head screws or bolts, and they countersink them. On to the actual overview. Here it is. This is the complete thing. It's very nice. I love the way the top is. I have the thing. This is the final print. This is what it's going to look like. It looks pretty awesome. The IO is exactly the same. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to make an STL with a different power location, so it's right there. Headphone jack works. Everything works here. Other than that, that's basically it. Here are the countersinked holes. They're not fully countersunken, but they're good enough for my liking. I'm using T25 screws, not bolts, but you can use screwed inserts. There's provisions for it. The overall strength is pretty adequate. I sanded the whole thing down with 400 grit sandpaper, and it's fine. I wouldn't use anything below 400 or else you'll start to get sanding scratches. But other than that, it looks pretty phenomenal. I have it just resting on top of my switch whenever I have it on idle. One thing I wish I did is I moved the power to the back. I could just flip the whole thing around, but the thing is the top case wouldn't line up that well. I have lots of passive air for this thing. That's what that was my whole thing. Like, oh, I don't want this thing to thermal throttle. It doesn't. As my provisions in there, as you can see. It can get better if you lower down the layer height. Totally optional. I didn't sand down the top at all because I like the layer lines. Just personal preference. But yeah, here it is. Yeah, all the files are in the description. Thingiverse link is in the description, and core control, stuff like that, supporting applications are also in the description. If you like these types of projects, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back with something a bit better, a little bit more full, and something a little bit more entertaining in the future. And yeah, take it easy, guys.